is Lainey.
This is Mickey.
And this was Workshops. So
we called this Finishing Touches of Balboa.
So the first class was dealing with beginnings of songs. So as opposed to just approaching your partner, thinking about where the pulse is and then where's the one and going, right? Actually finding some interesting or fun ways to do it. We started just with really simple steps. So we had just a step, 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 step into our basics. Bam, boom. We tried that with a side, side, a forward and back. Basic, bam. We also tried it with just a small circling side, 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 and a basic. And later on, but we'll do it now, right? Just traveling in a direction. Boom. So you're just using your walks to start off a song, all right? Another thing that we worked on just after that is using quarter time. So that was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we had our 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, syncing on one leg, syncing on the other. Leads really thinking that as soon as you put your weight on that leg, as Lainey said, a little bit hip, but a little bit more rib cage. You're leading the rib cage through and then working everything to move up and over. Sinking through, over, sink, over. I'll rotate this so you can see it. Again, not a big sway, just a little tree sway. And I like to think of keeping the wrists loose so all of it kind of moves together.
Yeah. If we're moving from our rib cage, it's going to prevent us from taking giant steps as we typically practice with this. So the smaller the step, the more I have an isolation of my back going back muscles moving, my back muscles moving. So then I can add the pulse throughout that sway. And hopefully my pulse of the sway is equal to the pulse of my first basic.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, trying to make sure that these do match when you get into your basics. Boom, whatever that pulse is within your basics. Super helpful. So from there, we're going to go ahead and take that same sway a little bit deeper. So we changed it and started traveling in directions. We started with walks back. Walk, 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 walk. Then we sank forward, step to the side. So the idea here is leads when you take the step, as opposed to stepping to the side, or as opposed to rotating with your partner, you're thinking of taking the left foot back. As you do this, you're going to leave your hands where they were. They're here. Boom. They stay there as you draw back. It creates a little scooping action here with the hips. And then just by standing up and follows, making sure that you bring that leg with you. By standing up, you have that ability to already look like you've rotated, right? And then you push off to the side. So it makes a little bit of an L shape, all right? This second sway that we're doing. Shoom, boom, ah, swing to the side. Shoom, boom, ah, swing to the side. Swing it under, swinging it out. And we also concentrated on this later on in our endings class, right, about taking that slide and making it a little bit sharper. Yeah. So moving into that, the idea is, again, if we turn this into an ending, we have that same swing in, and as we push back, boom, we talked about creating some drama, sharp lines down, raising it up, boom, to sit for the end. So we have hit, sharp, release. A tap, 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 or whatever you need to do. So after that, we did our, what else is this called? This release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. Right?
We wanted our lines to be very symmetrical as a follower, as a choice. I like my lines symmetrical. We can look out, we can look at our partner. If the song is over, then I will typically make a pose in that moment. If I don't hear the song ending, then I will definitely be paying attention to my partner, and I'm looking right at Mickey in this case. I'm standing on 2 feet, I'm ready for anything that could happen next.
Okay, sorry. She was totally ready. So, again, if you don't hit this exactly at the end, leads, you can think of just stepping back to your follow. You can think from the same pose of bringing your follow back to you, all right? There's different turns that you could do. Another way we started this is leads, we swung in towards this left shoulder, step, step, changing the hand, rotating through so we're just in front of our follow, walking off the floor for the end, right? You could draw back, maybe it didn't end where you thought it would, right? Head back into your dance.
The important thing is that in all of these movements where Mickey is traveling and I am not, is that our arm has no tension. There's nothing happening. He's not pulling himself to me. Mickey's just walking and the hand is just an extra little accessory of that.
Getting into the step. Anytime you're doing your basic, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you think of this as part of a crossover, so if we're just doing regular crossovers, a boom, boom, ba. If you just decide to over-rotate on this left side leads, 1, 2, 3, release.
Gather and then open.
Then stretch, right? And you can always, boom, later on, find out ways to actually just keep this in the same timing as your crossovers altogether. After that, we had, do we have any more endings?
No, that was the last ending.
That was the last ending.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The transitions.
yep, then we had our last transitions class. The transitions class started with a classic transition, a transition step. And again, there's a lot of different versions of this. This is more concentrated on how to lead it than the kicks and the rest of the stuff that might happen during some transitions. But if you watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The idea is that the transition happens on the 5, 6, 7, as opposed to 1, 2, from either dropping the center or especially not from pushing the hand out, which a lot of people end up doing. We're thinking of actually using the second half of the basic to create the stretch and release.
The count 4 has to travel forwards for the leaders, which pushes my body backwards, and that turns the rest of the step into the out and in. So again, in slow motion, just that first part, 1, 2, 3, 4, step, step, down. So it's an up hold basic 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a out and in on the 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, hold, step, out, and in.
And again, you can do this from into your crossovers, but we tried taking this into a pass, passing into a regular come around. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pass, release into a pivot. All right, from there, it's going to create a second stretch. You're bringing the follow in, leads on this left foot. That's when we're heading back into our basics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. We added in walks after that. Boom, petit, walk, petit, boom, boom, walk, walk, walk. At any point, you can drag back. Boom, petit, bop. You can go straight into your sways. Shoot, petit, walk, petit, doom, doom, bop, boom, bop, bop, and sway, right? And the last thing that we did after these sways is we did a little rotation into a throw out. So we just opened up, swung through into our throw out. Boom, 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 bop. So just to show what's happening there, from the back first. Anytime I have my weight traveling in this direction, whether it's from a slide or whether I'm just standing on this right foot, I have the ability to allow the follow's energy to continue into a little bit of a grapevine action. Again, it's not, in LA, any rock stepping action would happen with a twist as opposed to something linear. So we want to think of releasing that into a twist. From here, we're going to be taking another step, and we're just closing up with our follow. All right? So it's going to keep things a little bit closer, a little bit tighter, so that we're ready to head into something like a throw out. So
I have to make sure to always pivot as much as I can on my left foot before stepping down my right to protect my knees, as well as that movement, that pivot is coming all from Mickey's side, from the side connection on my back.
So again, if I'm swinging through, swinging it across, I'm allowing that to open up, shift forward, step across into my throw out. Again, if I started it again from here, behind and in front, all right, I'm opening up as I take this step. I'm already starting the pivot action, pivoting through to head into that throw out. Boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Deep, da, and ho. And we're done.